Wally was the mastermind behind the biggest bank heist in European history because the resistance needed money and lots of it. Some of you may be familiar with the diary of Anne Frank, a young girl who lives in hiding in Amsterdam. Well, there were thousands of girls just like Anne Frank and their families living all throughout the Netherlands in hiding, and they needed money to survive. You can only imagine that must be the most difficult question a parent can answer, right? Do you want to give up your child and chance never ever seeing them again? Or do you want to keep your child with you, but you are being sent to a concentration camp and you may not survive? The parents of 600 children actually agreed to have their child be smuggled out and be taken to a family. 600 children were rescued that way, and they actually survived the war. And what the Nazis did as soon as they occupied a city or a country is they installed something called the Nazi culture chamber. And what the Nazi culture chamber did is it basically tried to control any form of art or writing or creativity or media expression. And the way they did that is they forced anybody involved with the arts or in media to join this culture chamber. And when you joined, you were given very strict rules for art. So for instance, if you were a musician, you were not allowed to play jazz music or scat music or swing music or anything that wasn't Germanic. If you were a painter, you were only allowed to paint white people in Germanic scenes. I believe that the Nazis did this because they understood the power of art and stories and music. Because when we read a story about a person who's different from us, who maybe has a different racial background or a bit different ethnic background, or a different sexuality, then we see the world through their eyes for a little bit. It creates empathy. And the last thing that Nazis want is empathy. Inspiration has played a big part in my life, and I hope that when it comes knocking in your life, maybe that's in your art practice, but maybe that's just in a moment when you're being asked to make a difficult decision about another human being, I hope you will listen.